Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jane, the Digital Event Coordinator at Connecting Up and TechSoup New Zealand. We are part of the Info Exchange Group, a not-for-profit social enterprise that tackles the biggest social challenges by creating use of technology. Today I'm very excited to welcome you to join us. The 5 points you need to know about e-invoicing with Robin Sands, the CEO of Link4. With over 20 years experience providing solutions to business of all sizes, Robin is a results-focused senior executive who combines entrepreneurial visions with a strong business acumen. He has spent many years working with organizations throughout Australia, Asia, and also the US. In 2020, he was a finalist of the Australian Entrepreneur of the Year, and after more than 5 years in the industry, he is regarded as one of the leading e-invoicing experts for small businesses. All right, before we begin, we'll start with a bit of housekeeping. All lines are muted. If you have any issues, please type into the questions box and I'll be here to assist you. If you have any questions during the webinar, please also type into the box and Robin will get them answered by the end of the webinar. Please make it as interactive as possible. There's no silly questions, so feel free to type any questions into the box. But please note that your comments or questions will not be appear to the entire group. Please also note that the webinar is being recorded. The recording link and the presentation will be sent to you in 1 to 2 business days. And finally, there's a very short survey at the end of the webinar. Please, we really encourage you could have complete that for us for an even better experience in the future. All right, now I'll pass on to Robin for today's section. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Jane, appreciate that. So today we're talking about e-invoicing, which is new for a lot of people, and understanding what e-invoicing is can be a challenge. So you might read about it, you might hear about it. So today we just want to address the simple aspects of what it is to give everyone a background about it, why it's happening, and where we're coming from. So if I'll share my screen here so you can see that. Let me know if you can't see it or if you can't hear me. And as Jean mentioned, put any messages in the chat that you want to, and then we can address that too. I'm using a second screen if you keep seeing me looking away. So we're going to cover the points about what is e-invoicing, why do people do it, who's already doing it, what's the government's involvement, and then how for you to become e-invoicing ready yourselves. But before we get into that, I'd like you to meet Aaron. So Aaron is a small business owner. He actually runs a restaurant in the city and he has great coffee. Known well for having very good business meetings there because of the coffee. Anyway, Aaron gets invoiced by his coffee supplier. It was what he expected to get from the coffee supplier, so he paid the invoice. However, the supplier never saw the money. Now, why is that? Well, the supplier sent him an email with the invoice attached to it, but it got intercepted by the bad guys. And then the payment details in that invoice were changed. And so he become a victim of what is called a payment redirection scam. And there's a few different names for that, but reality is these scams are increasing and there's a lot of people that have been stung by them. Often it's small businesses that get caught out. So if I'm presenting this to a group in person, if there's, let's say 6 people sitting around a table, most people would have heard about it. There would be a couple of people that know someone who's been affected, and then one person has been personally affected. So there's maybe around about 20% of businesses that I've been presenting to actually have been a victim of this. And they're increasing. So in 2020, payment redirection scams were the biggest scam to hit small business. And then in 2021, it increased 5-fold. And it's continuing to increase now. A lot of, I guess, negativity that is coming through, a lot of malicious players. So the answer to getting around that is e-invoicing, or allowing the accounting systems to talk together. So if you allow the supplier's accounting system to talk directly to the customer's accounting system, you don't need email, you don't need PDFs. They just have this secure communication between themselves. It's secure because there's security on the supplier's accounting system, the security on the receiver's accounting system, and there's security in between as well with the e-invoicing network. And basically the e-invoicing network, or someone like ourselves, Link4, we're a translator that sits between the accounting systems that allows them to talk together in real time. One way to illustrate this is, you may remember years ago on a Friday night, if you wanted to watch a movie, you'd need to go to a video store to hire a movie. And then a few years later, we started to get the videos or the DVDs delivered to our letterbox. And we thought, oh, this is great. We don't have to go out anymore. They get delivered to us. But today we have streaming. Like, who goes to their letterbox now to get a movie to watch on a Friday night? None of us. We sit in front of the TV, we can tune in, we've got plenty of streaming services to get it straight away. E-invoicing is like that. We used to get a physical invoice that was sent to us, written and given to us, and then we had it sent to our email inbox, just like the mailbox to our inbox as a PDF. And now we have streaming. This is what e-invoicing is. It's the streaming of the invoice. It just goes directly to where it needs to be. And if you were to sum it up in 3 words, e-invoicing is the seamless invoice delivery. So that's the first point. What is e-invoicing? It's allowing the accounting systems to talk together in real time. It's seamless invoice delivery. Some of the benefits of it, it means we don't need to worry about scams. There's a lot of scams. Well, we can't think of email as being safe. Emails are not safe. There's a lot of scams that are out there. The email interception is one of them. E-invoicing is much more protected and does get around that. There is accelerated adoption of e-invoicing at the moment, and that's because of the customer-supplier relationship. There's a lot of activities that are happening now because a supplier wants to make their customers happy, and so they're switching to e-invoicing, and it's increasing the customer relationship side of things there. Storage. Any business who receives a lot of physical documents, especially invoices, has boxes sitting around for like 5 years, storing these documents for tax reasons. E-invoicing, you don't need that. It's viewed as a tax record. It's stored on the cloud. It's stored securely. You don't lose an invoice again. One of the comments bookkeepers make to us is that when they go and do the books for a customer, the biggest problem they find is there's an invoice that's missing that they need to chase up, especially if it's a restaurant or a cafe, even tradies. They lose the invoice between buying something to when the bookkeeper gets to it. With e-invoicing, the invoice is always available. It's on the cloud. You can always go and have a look at it anytime you want to. Cash flow control, especially if you're a small business and you're invoicing a larger business, you can get paid faster because e-invoices get processed faster. Now, the Australian government are doing e-invoicing now, and if you invoice them, you'll be paid within 5 days. So anyone who's invoiced the government before knows that is very fast. And so e-invoicing does mean you can get paid faster for what you're doing. And if you've got a cloud accounting or a business system, it's quick and easy to be able to get into e-invoicing. It's actually not a challenge. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, just to see how quick and easy that is. So the reason people are doing it are varied and have changed over the years. In fact, I've been doing e-invoicing in Australia since 2016, and a lot of the reasons people started doing e-invoicing back then was around business efficiencies. It's just better for the business, help them to be more efficient with a lot more better business intelligence. Today, one of the main reasons is the scams. A lot of people want to be protected from scams. So there's a lot of benefits that actually exist. The benefits to you may be different to someone else. If you look to the right-hand side there is a number of logos of cloud accounting systems or business systems that people are using. These are ones that are connected to eInvoicing now. This is not an exhaustive list, but there's thousands of small businesses that are using, let's say that top row, the top couple of rows there, for eInvoicing. If you want to do eInvoicing with any of those, it just takes 2 minutes to sign up and be connected. Because it's a cloud system, it's eInvoicing as a service, so it's nothing to download or install. You just have to create an account and you're into it. Down the bottom though, you see things like SAP, IBM, ones like that. They require an implementation. It's a little bit longer to get involved with eInvoicing with them, but it can all be done within 4 weeks. So there's implementation, there's testing, there's training, and all of that can be wrapped up in a couple of weeks. We say 4 weeks on average, but no matter what accounting system you've got, it can be done. So at the moment, there's thousands of businesses that are active with eInvoicing. Over 10,000 small businesses in Australia are doing it, and that number is growing every day. And there's a lot of government agencies and large businesses also joining the network. So the next point we're going to talk about is the government. Why is the government involved in this? Now, there was a quote from the Prime Minister that said that Australia would save $3 billion a year if just 15% of businesses did e-invoicing, which is a considerable amount, right? So that's why they're looking to support e-invoicing. It can be very good for our economy. It actually speeds up the cash flow. Instead of the cash sitting in big businesses' pockets, it can be moved back to small businesses. It prevents the scams. There's a lot of reasons why there's funds can be injected into the economy. But of course, the government are not asking everyone to switch to e-invoicing and not do it themselves. So there is a government mandate for them to do e-invoicing, and that is coming up by June 30, 2022. We are very strong and active in supporting government in doing this right now. In fact, Link4 are the most popular service being used by the government. They're getting ready to do e-invoicing and make it available for everyone, but they want to make sure that they can do it first and are setting a good example, which is why they're doing it. They've also put out what is called the BER, it's called, or the Business E-Invoicing Right. Now this went to consultation and in fact just closed on Friday, just gone, where the industry got a chance to respond to this. So the BER is talking about allowing every business who wants to do e-invoicing. So it's not a mandate as such, but if you're a small business and you're, let's say you're invoicing someone like Woolworths, and you say to them, I want to be able to send you an e-invoice, the BER means they have to be able to accept your e-invoice. So this will push a lot more businesses onto e-invoicing. In fact, a lot of the larger businesses are already active in looking to how they can get onto e-invoicing. So this is why the government is involved. There's a lot of benefits to it, and the concept here is they want to help small businesses increase their cash flow and to be better off in many different ways, and so the government are supporting it. What they're not doing, and I just wanted to clear this point up, the government are not seeing your invoices. So some people will think the government is involved because they want to control what's going on, they want to know what I'm doing in my business, it'll come back to haunt me at tax time. No, the government cannot see details of any business. And in fact, we do not send any information to the government about individual businesses. I was talking to an accountant one day and he said, no, I know the government can see any invoice that goes through the network. And I said, we're a software supplier, we built the software, it would have to be rebuilt if we were to send invoices to the government because it's not set up that way. Invoices are designed to be sent from a supplier to a customer, and that's it. We do send numbers to the government of how many invoices are sent, but no details. We don't tell them who sent what. We don't tell them value of anything. It's just a matter of, is e-invoicing happening? Yes, there's 20,000 invoices were sent last week through the e-invoicing network. It's increasing, it's good. So, so the government are not being Big Brother. They're actually very positive and very supportive of what is happening here. So what about you? How do you become e-invoicing ready? Well, if you've got a cloud accounting system and that is like a Xero or MYOB, QuickBooks, those common systems, then it's very simple to get onto e-invoicing. All you have to do is create an account, connect your software, and you're there. So what happens there is there's some technical stuff that happens in the background. There's an API, which is a doorway, which means the systems can talk to each other straight away. And then we are that connector to be able to allow e-invoicing to happen. All you need is an account. So nothing to install, nothing to download. 2 minutes, you're up and running. It keeps it easy. And that's where, you know, over 10,000 small businesses have actively been doing that already. If you don't have a cloud accounting system, like you've got a desktop system, or you've got a larger ERP system for a bigger company, then there is implementation work that happens. And feel free to reach out and talk to us about that. Some of them you can still connect straight away. Some of them you can just use a portal instead, or otherwise there will be some work that is required to make that connection. But whatever it is, there's always a way to make your accounting system ready for e-invoicing. And even if you don't use an accounting system, there are portals out there which still mean you can do e-invoicing and benefit from it. For example, if you're a gardener, you've just done some work outside Parliament House, you want to get paid for it, you don't have an accounting system, instead of writing it out on a piece of paper, you can log onto a portal, send the invoice as an e-invoice, and then be paid before the end of the week. Nice and easy. You do need to use an accredited service provider. So there are some ERP systems out there now that have e-invoicing modules. Take, for example, Technology One, which is used by a lot of government departments, a lot of councils, and some big businesses, schools and universities. Technology One have an e-invoicing module, which is great. What that does is handles the e-invoice once it gets delivered. It doesn't deliver the invoice. They're not an accredited service provider. So an accredited service provider is basically like Australia Post. We take the invoice from the mailbox and then deliver it to the letterbox of someone else. The ATO maintain a list of accredited service providers on their website, so you can see who that is. But you can use somebody like Link4. Now, Link4, you may not know too much about us, so let me just give you a little bit of background. We have been doing e-invoicing in Australia since 2016, and we're specifically focused on helping small business. That's how we came into existence. And in fact, for a couple of years, we're the only ones globally doing this for small businesses. And anyone using Xero, MYOB, QuickBooks, etc., have been able to do e-invoicing since 2016 because of what we've been able to do. So today we've got thousands of small businesses that are active with Link4 doing e-invoicing. We also have enterprise organizations too. So BOC Gas is one of our great customers. I've been working with them since 2017. They are the first ones on the Australian e-invoicing network, and there's plenty of press written about that. Additionally, as I mentioned before, we are the most popular service used by the federal government. So a lot of government departments like Treasury, Department of Industry, a whole bunch of others are using Link4. And so we are, have the credentials there to go through all these tender processes and to prove that we do what we do and we keep it simple. And we have some very good references in those departments as well. When you think of other software that you might be using, you might say, I don't use an accounting system to deal with my invoices. I use a business software, which let's say construction workers might use something like SimPro. And it's like all my invoices go through that. They don't go through our accounting system. That is fine. We can direct invoices to wherever you want it sent to. And so, for example, with SimPro, we direct all the invoices into SimPro, which then connects into Xero or MYOB or wherever it needs to go. Now, Link4 have been the first with a lot of these software companies in making these connections. And in fact, some of the software companies now, we are the engine behind them that is driving their e-invoicing. So we've got a good reputation there. And also local councils now are starting to switch to e-invoicing. They've been encouraged to do so by the federal government. And if you've ever dealt with a council, you know things do go slowly, but Link4 have been the first ones to sign up a council, Devonport City Council, is now coming active with e-invoicing. So we've been doing e-invoicing for a long time. We've got a lot of customers to prove that we're doing well. And if you look at that top line, we've got thousands of small businesses doing e-invoicing, and most of them are doing it for free. So we're getting rid of the barrier of entry for them so that they can do that. And in fact, we've got hundreds of businesses that have been doing e-invoicing with us for a couple of years now that have never paid anything. And we'll get to that in a moment, and also how you can tap into that too. Well, actually, that's the next point. There is a discount available for connecting up members. So we do have our pricing on our website. You can easily go and see what our pricing is for anyone with a cloud accounting system, noting that, as I mentioned before, cloud accounting systems can be connected easily. Like you just log in, create an account, and you're connected. There's no work to be done from our side. The larger systems require work, and that's a different pricing structure. They're also sending a lot more invoices. But if you are sending less than 10 invoices a month, it's zero. So just you create an account, no payment details are taken. You just create an account and start doing e-invoicing and see what it's like. And if you are on there and you go, I've only got 2 people to send e-invoices to or receive them from, then it's free. But you may get on there and find you've got like 50 or 80 of your partners that are actually sending and receiving e-invoices. So there could be more activity. And so you might move up to one of the paid plans. So our standard price per month is $24 a month. That gives you 250 transactions that can happen. I say transactions because you're sending an invoice or you're receiving an invoice. It's just counted as a transaction. And e-invoicing should be both. Should be able to send, should be able to receive, and because every business receives invoices, there's a lot of businesses that also send. But standard pricing is $24, but for connecting up members, for not-for-profits, it's just $14. So a significant discount there. We say we give a 30% discount to not-for-profits, but what we're actually doing is giving at least a 30% discount. And instead of it, if you want to go to unlimited amount of transactions, so you just want to send as many as you want to, that's also got a discount attached to that as well. So it's just $31.50 a month. There's a lot of statistics out there saying that there's $20 savings you get for every invoice you send as an e-invoice, and $20 savings in various aspects of it. So if you're sending 10 e-invoices, potentially there's the equivalent of $200 savings, which you can get for free. If you're sending more than that, then there's other benefits. Just what I want to point out, and you're probably saying we don't pay $20 to send an invoice. I understand that, but there is obviously an impact and there is savings that can happen. All I recommend is you get out and try your e-invoices and see how well that can go for you. And then you may see that there are significant benefits. And if you're on a free plan, then it won't cost you anything anyway. So keep that in mind, and keep in mind the discount that is available. And then importantly, you need to tell people that you are doing e-invoicing. So if you sign up and you're connected and you've got the system happening, then just let your trading partners know. It's like, yep, I'm now doing e-invoicing, and so that means they can send an e-invoice to you, or you can receive e-invoices from them. Then whatever can happen there will be good, but at least they can know about it. Now, one of the benefits within Link 4, we will actually tell you when your trading partners are on the e-invoicing network. How do we know who to deliver it to? How do we know if they're on the e-invoicing network? That's the address that is used for e-invoicing is the ABN. So if your accounting system lists the ABNs of your suppliers and your customers, then we can easily match them up and go, this ABN is on the network, and we can let you know and saying they are ready to receive it. So that's how you get connected. Just go online if you've got a cloud accounting system, create an account, done in 2 minutes, no cost, nice and easy. If you're something a bit further than that, then reach out to us and we can help you to get connected and talk you through that part of it. Don't forget, put any questions in the chat. We're getting to the end of the session now, so we can start to answer questions for you in a moment that are relevant relative to you. But let's go through these points again. So initially, we're talking about what is e-invoicing. The first point, it's seamless invoice delivery. So invoice, it just gets delivered quickly and easily. There's a lot of benefits for why people are doing e-invoicing, and that's the business benefits we went through may be different for you than what it is for others, but they're doing it because there's benefits to them. Third point, who's doing it? Thousands of businesses are doing it. And so you're not going to be alone with doing e-invoicing. Back in 2016, when we started, it was kind of exciting when once a month someone would sign up to e-invoicing. Today, it's disappointing when a day goes by and someone hasn't signed up. In fact, no, days don't go by like that. Everyone's signing up these days. I mean, every day there's someone signing up, which is a good thing. Why are government involved? That's because they want to support businesses. They want to make life easier for businesses, and so they're providing support. And in fact, I mentioned before the BER, they've gone out to find out should businesses be encouraged to do e-invoicing. My personal feeling is, and seeing some of the responses around and what is happening, that it's highly likely the government will, I'm not going to say mandate, but encourage all businesses to do e-invoicing in the next 3 years. So if you've got an ABN and if you're registered for GST, you'll be encouraged to do e-invoicing within the next 2 to 3 years. And I expect toward the end of this year, we'll hear more about that from the government once they're going through their processes. I would say mid-year, but who knows what's happening with the election. But this seems likely that e-invoicing is here to stay and it will be encouraged more. And in fact, you can look at governments around the world. There's many different countries that are mandating e-invoicing now that says you cannot do business unless you're sending an e-invoice. And I've heard stories in South America where there will be roadblocks of people stopping the trucks, and what they're doing is to check that people have an e-invoice for the load that they're taking. So there's very strict rules in some countries. And then how do you get involved with e-invoicing yourself? As I say, get online and just create an account. It's quick and easy to do. There's plenty of options out there. Obviously, I think Link4 is the best. And that is because we've been around the longest. We'll give you more than what other accounting systems have got. So for example, if you need an approval process, if your invoice comes in and it gets received by someone and the bookkeeper is sitting remotely and you need to approve that invoice before it gets paid, you can have that approval process within Link4 rather than it suddenly going straight into your accounting system and your bookkeeper paying it or whatever it might be. So there's approval processes, there's response messages, there's other things that are included in Link4. And actually, I did see a message the other day saying that there was a Xero user saying, can I get a message when I get an e-invoice sent to me? And Xero said, well, we don't have that. Actually, you don't need it, so don't worry about it. We have that. We've always had that. So you can set your settings. Please send me an email as soon as I get an e-invoice delivered, or just send me a summary at the end of the day or the end of the week about what e-invoices that have come in. Either way, as soon as you open your accounting system, you'll see that they are in there. But if you need any help to become active with e-invoicing, just send me an email. I'm happy to talk it through. I've been an advocate of e-invoicing for more than 5 years, and it's not just about selling something. As I say, we give it away to most of our customers, but it's about helping people become active, because the more people that do e-invoicing, the better off we'll be. Excuse me. All right, it seems like a good time for me to take a break and rest my voice. Jean, do you have any Q&As or questions there?
Yes, we got a couple of questions here. Thank you so much, Robin. It's a very informative sections. And as I said before, you'll be receiving the presentation and the recording in 1 to 2 business days. So with Robin's contact as well. So if you have any further inquiries after the sections, feel free to contact him directly. I'm sure he'll be very happy to help. Okay, so we got a couple of questions here. we got the audience asking. So he knows that there's some other similar software out there, like e-invoicings. So what is so special about like e-invoicing at Link4? What's the difference with the others?
Sure, and one thing I really wanted to point out today is that we're talking a lot about e-invoicing today. I was trying not to do a sales pitch and saying we're the best, but obviously that comes along with it because I know some of the benefits that we have compared to what others have. But importantly for me, it's a matter that you start doing e-invoicing. So for example, you can go into MYOB and choose e-invoicing from within there. Okay, so Link4 is one of the options that you get to do from in there, but you'll see that there are other options around as well. So what makes us better? We've been around since 2016, and we started doing e-invoicing based on feedback from customers. So the way we started was we went and interviewed coffee shops, restaurants, cafe owners, and asked them what their pain points were. And everyone mentioned different pain points relating to their business, but they all mentioned invoice processing as being a problem. And that's why we focused on that problem and how to fix it. So we came up with a solution that solved that problem for businesses. Now, when you look at e-invoicing in general now, there's people that have come to the market to start doing it because the government's recommending it or because they're being told to do it by someone. What we did specifically in the beginning was talk to business owners about what they wanted to see. So we've created something that people use. And we do get people who switch from us across to, let's say, another accounting system that's maybe in Xero. They're using Xero, so they say, let me just use the Xero one. It's quick and easy. It's true. And it covers all the basic e-invoicing needs that you've got. And you're connected to the network, so that's important. But if you want some of the advanced things, then Link4 is good for that. And it's the same cost. I mean, it's free, right? So it's not that difficult to sign up and start using it.
Yes, totally. Thank you very much. Because it's really about starting to get on it. And as you said, it's really about like helping them to migrate to e-invoicing. Okay, we got another question. So it's kind of related to what you just said at the end. So the audience is seeing that there's a different packages, like some of them is like free of charge, and the other one is a special price for not-for-profit. So is it necessary to go for the middle package from the start, or do you think for a small not-for-profit they can just start from the $0 plan?
Yeah, good question. I think I recommend everyone get on the $0 plan. Like just start with that plan and see what it's like. E-invoicing is new. It's a strange new concept for some people, and they start using it and going, this is amazing. Or they might start using it and going, we're not set up for this. I don't understand it. Start with a free plan and you get to see how that works. As I say, if you're going into many invoices that you're doing, by that stage you realize the benefits and you realize the value of getting onto a paid plan. And that's what our customers do now. We just encourage everyone to sign up on the $0 plan. And I mean, we do get a few people that change to, well, sign up straight for the paid plan, but that's your choice. I just encourage everyone to start doing it. And if you start doing it for free, then no problems.
Lovely, thank you so much. All right, so I guess that's pretty much for the questions today. So before we finish, do you have anything to add?
No, I think we've covered the most important things there. For me, e-invoicing. Well, let me skip back a little bit. I went to London Tech Week a couple of years ago, and it was really interesting seeing some of the cool stuff there. And someone said to me, yeah, England are behind with technology and they know it. So they're interested in new stuff. But they said to us, Australians are behind and they don't know it. And I found that interesting because I hadn't considered that before. And it's like new technology comes along and we look at it and go, I'm happy with what I'm doing. And you don't realize that you're missing out because you're not taking on the new technology. Now, I'm not saying just run out and start using Link4, but what I'm saying is e-invoicing is actually really good for every business. And I think like in a couple of years, you'll be doing it anyway. Start now, try it now, get the benefits now. So the important thing is just start doing it.
Yes, exactly. So I think most of us is getting lots of information today. And just now Robin mentioned about the special discounted link from Connecting Up website. I'll be putting the link as well onto the follow-up email. So if you're interested, feel free to click on it and get started. Like Robin mentioned, you can start with the $0 plan as well, but it's really about how invoicing benefits you and your organizations. All right, thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Robin, again for this wonderful webinar. We'll see you very soon next. Goodbye.
Thank you.